Hey guys, welcome back to our Franchise Friday. We're continuing our watch of the franchise Step Up. This week, reviewing Step Up 3D. No, I do not have a 3D television, so I just had to watch it in plain 2D. But, as always, before we begin, if you like what you see here, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It helps my channel grow greatly, and I truly appreciate it when you guys do. Now, let's get on to the review. Quick synopsis. Moose is going to college, guys. And he's going to college in NYC, and he's bringing along his friend Camille. But Moose is trying to focus more on his schoolwork, becoming an engineer. But, of course, dance is always there, and Moose now has to make that decision. Does he want to continue with his current college course, or does he want to continue dancing? Alright, bear with me on this one, guys. Alright, so Step Up 3D was first released on August 6, 2010, directed once again by the great director Jon M Chu, starring Adam Sevani, Alyson Stoner, Rick Malambri, Sharni Vinson, and the Lombard brothers, as well as Chad Smith, and many, many more. I probably butchered a lot of names there. I apologize, but this movie kind of packed a lot of great dancers together in this thing. Again, like everything other Step Up movie I've watched previously and reviewed for you guys, I have watched every Step Up movie numerous occasions. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Step Up is a guilty pleasure for me. I did see this movie in theaters, especially when it was 3D. I did see it in 3D, but I'm one of those people that don't believe that movies really need to be in 3D. There's probably like 5 movies that I will ever say was really good in 3D. I believe it's a gimmick for the studios just to make a few extra bucks. And even though this movie was shot in 3D, you do not have to watch it in 3D to have a good time and enjoy it. Yay, Moose is back. If you guys watched or even remember the last Franchise Friday for Step Up 2, I told you Moose is my favorite character. He's still my favorite character in this movie, even though he's kind of not as great or as good a guy as he was in the previous one. He gets a little too wrapped up on things and forgets about other people. But when I heard Adam Sevani was going to be back as Moose in the Step Up movie, it brought me joy. I really like Moose. I think he's a really good character. And of course they want to tie Step Up 3 with Step Up 1, so they bring in Camille, who's played by Alyson Stoner, who played the little Rugrat kid that Channing Tatum's character was living with the foster parents in Step Up 1. So again, that ties it into the first movie, as Moose ties this movie into the second movie. So a lot of callbacks to the previous movies in this movie. And holy crap, is that Robin Lloyd Taylor in the background in this movie? First I saw a glance of him and I was like, nah, that's not Robin Lloyd Taylor. What is he doing in this movie? But if you don't know who Robert Lloyd Taylor is, you've probably seen him in Accepted. You've seen him in Gotham. He played the Penguin. He's a very good actor. He's a fun guy. I'm hoping one day I know he does the convention circuits, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get to meet him one day. And now I got another movie I can talk to him about, because I loved him in Accepted, and I just want to be able to throw out Step Up 3D and see what stories he could tell of his probably short stint that he did on this movie. And also with Step Up 3D, this gives us the first movie that moves out of B-more and into New York City. This, again, the first 2 movies were shot in Baltimore. Like I said, I'm thinking about even doing like a kind of a movie location tour and going up and taking pictures of the locations that Step Up 1 and Step Up 2 used. Obviously now Step Up 3 being in New York, it's kind of a little hard for me to go up to New York and do those shots. But yeah, this Step Up 3D was the first Step Up movie outside of Baltimore. If Step Up 2 went up 10 times above with the dancing and focusing more on the action, the dance moves, Step Up 3D just exploded with the talent. Again, you have Mad Chad with his robotic moves, you have the Lombardi brothers, you have Moose back, you have Twitch. It's just, this movie just, it's just the dance talent is just crazy in this movie. And speaking of ramping up the intensity and the explosion of dance moves in this movie, who knew New York City took dance battles so seriously in this movie? I get it that at the beginning of this movie, Moose kind of, punks or beats out the samurai dance crew. But man, following a guy into the bathroom and trying to raise tension and challenging him to a dance-off is ballsy and kind of weird at the same time. I mean, man, you get like 4 or 5 guys in this bathroom and you're dancing off against one guy or trying to trap him in the bathroom. It kind of sends the wrong vibes. You could still kind of freak him out by following him around a little bit, and then when he's trapped in a corridor or passageway or something, start having your dance battle. But just following a guy into a restroom is just kind of creepy and weird, and you're taking your dance battle way, way too serious. And again, not harp on the dance battles, but be excited for these dance battles. Step Up 3 just really puts them and the different styles of dance into the forefront of this movie. Step Up 2 did that a little bit, but it was more in background noise. You got to see clips of the dancers dancing and stuff like that. Where Step Up 3 really brings them front and center, and even some of the dancing I thought was better than what we saw with the Pirates crew. And I think I talk about that a little bit later. But props to Step Up 3, showing us that there's more than just like the kind of hip hop dancing we see on music videos, and giving us a lot more takes out there. And how is it that I didn't know the Zoltar machine from Big made a cameo in this movie? Or did I just forget about it when I saw, because I was focusing on all the great dance battles or dance styles that we see in this movie. But props to the Zoltar. I think he's even made it around. So I think he's in a few other movies that I've seen recently, or I've heard about, that he actually is making making kind of his rounds. And one of the great things that I guess forget was the MSA crew, or part of the MSA crew, come back in this movie. And that is awesome as well. It's, I love that Step Up isn't one of these one and done kind of franchises where they're like, okay, we're done with that crew in that movie, so let's forget about them and bring new people into the new movie. And they do bring in new people, they bring in new dancers, they bring in new talent, but they still love to reach back into their older movies and bring back people, so that way you can tell that it's not, use them and forget them and move on to the next great thing. I really like that about the Step Up movies, and we do see it in 4 and 5, and to a kind of lesser degree, but it's still there. To me, though, the final dance battle, like I said, I've been talking about how these dance battles have been really great. I will say the final dance battle, I felt a little lacking. I just didn't feel as connected or as involved in this dance battle. I thought they did a good job, don't get me wrong, but I wanted something a little bit more. Some of the other dance battles just felt more intense, more, authentic, more all-in kind of thing. And don't get me started with the Luke and Natalie dance routine that they threw in the middle. That storyline to me just felt forced, and to have them come in and be like, oh, we're the big dance number, and it's going to set the samurais on their feet. Come on, focus. I just didn't feel it. And I will say the one thing that 3 did not learn from 2 was the whole putting the romance in the back burner, or the secondary story, or the tertiary story. The Luke and Natalie story again, it didn't need to be in the forefront. It could have been in the background and could have been worked that way. It felt forced. The acting wasn't really well done. I didn't really feel the connection between Luke and Natalie. I really wished they would have learned from 2 and not put it in the forefront. And I'm sad to say I do believe Step Up 4 and Step Up 5 follow suit more with 3 and 1 vice 2, where they do start putting the romance back into the forefront of this movie franchise, instead of focusing on the dance and the dancers. I think it's a step back in the Step Up franchise, and I think it does hurt them in the long run when they start focusing more on one thing, such as the romance, vice the dancers, and the dance. And also, am I the only one that thinks Natalie looks a lot like Andy from Step Up 2? the casting director go, okay guys, we can't get Andy back, or the actress that played Andy in Step Up 2, so we need to find someone that looks really close to her. So we're going to cast this other actress and portray and call her Natalie, but you know, she's just going to look almost exactly like Andy from the second one. It just felt a little eerie for me, even now when I rewatched it today and I saw, you know, it tripped me up again for a couple minutes. I'm like, is that Andy? Did she come to New York City as well and just Moose didn't know? I just felt it weird, man. It just gave me a weird vibe for a while. I will say, if this movie had to focus on one relationship, I wish it would have focused on the Moose and Camille relationship. That one felt better, more well done in my books. Maybe it's because they're playing off being best friends and knowing each other for so long. The chemistry between the two actors was just really well. You could feel it from them. Whenever they were on screen together, you felt like there was something there. Vice, the Luke and Natalie storyline, where it just didn't seem like they even tried to have that chemistry. So, you know, I really wish that Hollywood would get over this ideal that you need to have two actors that look like they just come off the cover of the Vogue magazine and give us like normal, everyday, even though Adam Sevani, if you looked at him, he has the washboard abs. They just make him look like he's like this geeky, nerdy kid. But you don't need, you know, these actors and actresses that look like they're supermodels. Give us real romance. Give us real chemistry, such as between Moose and Camille. That is romance I could get behind. Well, guys, that about sums up my thoughts on Step Up 3D. I will give Step Up 3D 3 out of 5 Sheps. Again, the romance brought it down to me. They brought it back to the forefront. And sadly, I do believe it's here to stay in 4 and 5. But the dance battles were really great. The Moose and Camille were really great. Having the Lombardi twins, having Mad Chad. God, if you haven't, go to his YouTube channel for the robotic moves that Mad Chad does. He is just crazy. The precision, the control that he does is just awesome. But guys, that is all I got for you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next review.